Hello everyone, thank you for all being able to make it today. As most of you know, my name is Tyler Kay and I've been attending the El Dorado Christian School since my freshman year.
No, yeah, it started when we were just in my house. We were sitting on the couches. I think it was Jude.
I think Jude mentioned that
Said there were Shamrock Shakes. And so somebody's had the great idea, let's go get them at 11 o'clock at night. So we all filled up this tiny little car where it was me, Jude, and Noah sitting on the back row with Jacob laying across us. Yeah. Tyler and you were in the front seats, and Eli was in the back.
Yeah, I was in the hatchback.
In the hatchback, yes.
We could fit like 3 or 4 people back there.
We probably do someone on the floorboard.
Yeah, across the feet.
Yeah, for sure.
Tyler was always bright. And when he was little, he attended a French preschool, and he would come home and say something that Kristen didn't recognize, and she'd say, "That's not a bird." And his 4-year-old reply was, "Yes, it is, it's French."
So I remember when me and Tyler were, he was a good bit older than me. He's probably 10, 6 or 7, I was. And then little Jake, little 5-year-old Jake, we were all playing on the trampoline, you know? And we heard him a little bit. We heard Jacob. And you know how kids do when they play. And I remember me and Tyler, we pretended like we were hurt and crying too, to make him feel better. I mean, we still got in trouble, of course, because we made the youngest one cry. But I just remember it was such a good memory to just have my cousins there with me, you know.
My favorite story is about when I was like 7 and Jacob's probably like 8. Tyler went and told Jacob that the loose skin on your elbow is called a weenus, and Jacob must have misinterpreted it because he went and told our whole family that it was called a penis.
When I was 4, my mom set up a little thing with Nutella, and Mom said, "Come get me some toilet paper," and then she got Nutella on my head, then she kept doing, and then I was like, "Get it off of me right now, get this thing off of me," and then Tyler licked it off, and I was like,
He licked it off.
yeah, that was so embarrassing.
When I moved back home to take care of him, and Ian brought him to us, and it was very late, and he had been sleeping. So he came in so sleepy, and he was wearing his little Carter's pajamas, and his little cheeks were so red and warm and sweet, and I just remember kissing him and snuggling him.
I just remember spending a lot of time at your guys' house there in the Omaha area, and the kids loving to go out and jump on the trampoline and stuff together. And so a fun fact about Tyler is at one point, you know, the age ranges between the 3 girls from Trinity, Winter, and Hallie are pretty significant. And at one point, they all 3 had a crush on Tyler. So I just think that was so sweet. We just love you all. We're praying for you all.
What some of you may not know is that Tyler also enjoyed swimming. Well, not naturally athletic, as Mr. Chad just said. He showed a work ethic that allowed him to progress from struggling to keep up in training to winning a championship and progressing to A championship races. This work ethic inspired his brother to follow him into swimming and qualify for the Youth Olympics, of which I'm absolutely positive did not make Tyler jealous in any way, shape or form. One of my proudest dad moments with Tyler was watching him win that race. Sat alongside Jacob. We showered and cheered. Hey, so loudly. I'm positive he heard us, and I'm so glad we recorded that moment.
So when Tyler was 2, Kristen and him came over to our apartment complex, and my daughter Madison and Tyler were going to have a swim party. And Tyler goes in and jumps in at the deep end, and there was all these darker skinned ladies that came down, and they said, "Whose gosh dang white baby is that?" And okay, so that may not be what they said, but they were all very very shocked that he could swim so well at such a young age. And Kristen, that one was for you. Love you.
When we were living in Aldershot, home of the British Army, and it was his first day at school. He wanted to go in and be a big boy. He wanted to take his beloved Sasha, the Rottweiler. Kristen spent a long time telling him that she wouldn't be able to walk him up to his class if they took the dog because she couldn't go past the fence. And lo and behold, they got to the fence and he couldn't walk it. And with Sasha, he didn't want to leave his mum. One of our dear friends, Rhonda and Ian Archer, volunteered to look after this very strange, very big Rottweiler on his behalf. And they've remained our friends. Tyler had an amazing thing of bringing people together.
My first memory of Tyler is I was walking out of school one morning after dropping my wee girls off at school, and there was a lady standing outside the school with a little boy and her big Rottweiler dog. And the little boy was saying, "Please, Mom, please take me to the door, please take me to the door." And Kristen, who I now know as Kristen, was saying, "Tyler, I can't take you to the door because we have the dog and we're not allowed to take it onto the school premises. And I told you this before we left the house, and you wanted to bring the dog." And so I stopped and said, "Could I hold the dog to let Kristen take Tyler into school?" And that was the start of a wonderful friendship.
My memories of Tyler are of a wonderfully mannered young boy in his primary school years. As Rhonda has said, Tyler would come up with Kristen and Andy for food with us on the odd occasion, and Tyler developed a love for my Sunday roasts and would often ask his mum when we were going back to Mr. Ian's for another Sunday roast. Being called Mr. Ian and being called Sir by a young boy was something that I never really got used to, but just testament to what a wonderfully mannered young man he was.
He planned to join the military from the age of 12 or 13, and though he may have downplayed it, he was incredibly proud of his military service. It meant a great deal to him.
Jordan. I remember a time where Tyler and I, we had gone to St. Louis. We went from St. Louis, so JB, all the way to Fort Leavenworth, and I just remember talking, and we had like the deepest conversation that him and I had. That was when like we were able to like open up, and then we just became like cool there. And then we got to a point where, I mean, we were just able to share anything. There was one time I was going through a hard time, actually earlier this year, and I lost my job and all this stuff. And one drill, we were just hanging out, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to come back and hang out at my place? I'm gonna be by myself." He's like, "I just need like," he's like, "if you want, I just feel like cooking." I was like, "Okay, yeah." So sure enough, he cooked up. It was like, I don't even know what it was. It was like pork chops, and he had like this cool sauce over it, and potatoes. And I was like, dude, I was like, you need to be Iron Chef or something. You need to go in the competition. And he's like, nah. He said, that's too much. And yeah, and I also forgot my PTs. He lent me some PTs for the weekend, and I bought a PlayStation off him that day. And he's like, dude, don't even worry about it. He's like, I don't even play it, so just, pay me whenever you want. And I thought it was cool, and it was just, I just felt so included, and I felt like cared for, and he just had a really loving heart to just be able to share all that. He's like, yeah man, you need to do laundry, got the Tide Pods, you need a shower, towels are over there, you want a place to sleep, bed's over here, this and that, and just showed me around. And yeah, that guy was just amazing, and he did love God for sure. That was part of the deep things we talked about. But yeah, that's all I got.
I didn't know Tyler very long. I met him at a ICU room when two of my friends passed away in a car accident, and he kind of helped build our friend group back together. But one memory I'll always have of him is he loved to show off his Charger, and we'd go to Taco Bell, every night pretty much when we hung out in his Charger and just get Taco Bell and hang out. So I just wanted y'all to know that. So he's a really good guy.
At the unit, we were sitting at the computer and he was known to not do work sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. He was known to let conversation go from work to video games to just anything other than what the topic was. So I was assigned cadet sitter for the day, and we were supposed to be doing a slideshow, and I look over to ask for help, and he's sitting on the calculator app, hitting enter, adding the number 1 over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I look over and I'm like, I need help, and he just goes, I'm occupied, I'm busy. I have a lot of work on my hands, and he just keeps pressing enter, and eventually he had to get up and go somewhere for a minute. And he's like, I don't want to leave. And I pulled out a bobby pin, pressed it into the enter button. He walks away, comes back 2 or 3 minutes later, sits down. He's like, all right, what number am I at? The whole computer shut off. Like the second he sat down, everything shut down, and he just goes, turns it back on, opens the calculator app, starts it all over again from the beginning. And then later that evening, all of us went out and we went to the zoo, and there were monkeys at the monkey house, and we were all just walking around, and this monkey kept hissing at all of us standing there kept hissing at us. And he looks at the monkey and just starts screaming at it. And we all look over at him, and the monkey hisses at him back, and he screams at it again, and we all look over, and there's just a kid standing there staring at him like,
So Jacob did not have his seatbelt on. I thought you boys just
No, he was the seatbelt.
Was the seatbelt.
Awesome. Did you and Tyler have your seatbelts on?
Of course, me and Tyler had our seatbelts on. We were in the front, so we could be seen.
I genuinely don't know, because all I could see was Jacob and something in front of me.
I remember this one time. Me and Tyler had gone out for a late night drive, whatever, and we were racing this dude. He had the same type of car that he did, and we were going up, I don't know, 130, 140, and we were doing a really sharp turn, and we almost tipped. But it was really fun, because it was just, I got to have fun with him, and then we got milkshakes afterwards. But it was a really fun time, and I really miss that moment. I wish I could do it again.
My memories of Tyler are with my son Jacob, and Tyler and Jacob were, from the moment they met, they were buddies and played video games together, jumped on the trampoline, ran, concocted all kinds of scenarios and games. And the distinct thing that I remember when Tyler and Jacob were together is Tyler choosing the most inopportune moments to try to push his mom's buttons with a sarcastic remark, and watching Kristen and Tyler loving every moment of it. He was a good young man, and I enjoy those memories of Tyler and Jacob.
So my favorite story of Tyler was probably 7 or so years ago when we were down in Arkansas, and Tyler had a girlfriend, and she was coming over where we visited, and the biggest rule is if you're going to take a girl into your room, you do not close the door. And it was like watching a cartoon, because we were sitting in the living room, and I'd walk down the hallway, and he'd come peeking out, looking both directions, and close the door, and then sneak back in there. And next thing you know, Kristen come down the hallway storming. She's like, leave that door open. And he'd just sit there with a grin on his face. And so not even like 3-4 minutes later, here he goes again, looking out the hallway, closes the door within his girl in his room. And yeah, it just makes you laugh. So
Tyler loved the underdog. And my nephew kind of struggles socially. And
Tyler had. We loved him so much. So one of Tyler's silly little things that he got from all of our little trinkets was some fake AirPods. And my nephew didn't have any. And Tyler just, you know, he knows how to read a room and he knows how to read people, and he was just always the kindest person. And so he got the fake AirPods and immediately turned around and gave them to my nephew. And it was just made my nephew's night. It was just the kindest thing. And that was just one tiny story.
I just want to say what a privilege and an honor it was to be Tyler's Nana. For him to be my first grandson was enormously special in my life. And I'll miss him every day for the rest of my life. Just can't wait to see him again.
For me, though, Tyler's greatest love was his family and his animals. His face would light up whenever he was with his mum, who I teasingly referred to him as his comfort blanket.
I had the honor and the privilege of being Tyler's mother here for 22 years and 59 days. I know that a reunion is in our future, and I look forward to that day.
I think it's deeply significant to remember that Tyler saved 3 lives even in his passing. I think about how many lives were changed by his life, and I pray that many eternities might be changed through his death.
All of our prayers for Tyler to wake up and be allowed to continue life here with us were answered with a no. That isn't the end of Tyler's story, because the prayers for 3 other lives were answered with a yes. A yes was given to a 67-year-old man who received Tyler's heart. A yes was given to a 30-year-old man who was a husband and a father that received Tyler's right kidney. A yes was given to a 39-year-old man who received Tyler's left kidney. No, I do not know that these men are believers, but I do know that they still have things to do here. I do know that in a country like ours, I have never met one person that doesn't have somebody praying for them. So will you please join me in praying for these men, that if they do not know Christ, they will come to know him and choose him. That they will use this opportunity to better his kingdom.
Tyler's spirit, his love of life, and his unwavering dedication to his family will forever be in our hearts. Though he's left us too soon, his memory will continue to inspire us and remind us of the joy he brought into our lives. Right now, I guarantee you, he is up there feeding my mastiff, who, from the table, he's playing with his dog Tank and all the animals he grew up with. I ask you just to remember this one thing. Forgive them, Father, if they know not what they do.
Even though I have only been here for 4 years, it seems like I've been here forever. But at the same time, it has gone by extremely fast. Now my classmates and I are about to leave and begin our own lives and making new memories. Over the past few weeks, it has hit me how quickly things are coming to an end.